This, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should never use stop leak, ever. Take a look on the inside of that. This is an overflow bottle for a 1994 Chevrolet S10. And before I dumped all this out through a funnel, it looked a lot worse than even this. And half of it's on the ground right now. And it took this oil funnel here and it about reduced it to a trickle. Now, do you see how big that hole is? It's massive. That's bigger around than my thumb. And it reduced it to a trickle. All this garbage here, this is stop leak. What it does to your engine is it's gonna clog the things that need flow. And I can't even break this up with my fingers. If I try really hard, I can. But that's some tough stuff. And this little hole right here goes to this part of the radiator cap. And what it does is whenever the engine gets hot, pushes coolant through here as the cooling system expands, or as the fluid expands, or as the air pockets expand. The fluid builds pressure, and if it overpressurizes, it has to go somewhere. It'll go in here. And when the engine cools down so that the radiator isn't running itself empty, it'll suck coolant back through here at 0 psi. It'll start letting coolant go back through. Now the problem lies that got clogged up. This truck started overheating on about a 70-degree night, and it was overpressurizing through the radiator cap, and this turned out to be the cause. This looks like pulverized gremlin. This looks like if you stuck a toad inside of a blender. Look at that. It has a rubbery texture. Looks almost like paint flakes. Are you really going to want this going through your engine? Are you really going to want this clogging up your radiator, clogging up your heater core? Your heater core, this rubber hose here, goes back to the firewall. There's 2 of them there. That goes into a little mini radiator inside of your cabin. That's what gives you heat. What do you think this is going to do to those tiny passageways in that little mini radiator? Wintertime's going to come around. You're going to be wondering why you don't have heat. It's because you have a blended gremlin inside the heater core. Now, I don't know how exactly I'm going to get all this stuff out apart from filtering it all out through paint strainers over and over again, and maybe flushing my cooling system with a pressurized water hose out of a spigot. But if it can turn that into a slow trickle, imagine what that's doing inside your engine. Do not use stop leak. It turns into a disaster. It will be your worst enemy. And this truck did need a radiator put in it. This truck was leaking right at this plastic seam where it crimps onto the metal part, the aluminum part of the radiator, and I probably could have fixed it just by crimping the crimp a little bit more, but I didn't know that at the time. I got this radiator for $33 on eBay, and it even came with the engine oil cooler, and my truck isn't even equipped with an engine oil cooler, so I got a good deal on it. But this was in it at the time, and this did not fix it from the previous owner. So if this can't even plug it was a little tiny leak. Imagine it's not gonna solve anything. And imagine what it's doing inside your engine. So never use stop leak. That's the moral of this 4-minute video. Never use stop leak, ever. Delicious.